The secret to understanding and shaping your child's behavior. The Breakthrough ABCs Model. Hello everyone. Today I want to share with you something truly important. A key that can unlock the door to better understanding and supporting our children on this parenting journey. It's the ABCs Model, a simple yet powerful tool that helps us analyze and adjust our children's behavior. I truly believe that by the end of this story, you'll feel lighter and more confident in walking alongside your child. Let's dive in together. Let's explore the ABCs Model, the golden formula to understanding your child's behavior. Friends, being a parent is a wonderful journey, but it's also full of challenges. Every one of us wants our children to grow up smart, cheerful, polite, and careful, but in reality, they don't always listen or behave the way we hope. Some days they're cranky, talk back, or do things that leave us puzzled. So how do we help them understand what's right and what's wrong? How do we change unwanted behaviors in a positive way? The answer lies in the ABCs Model. ABCs stands for 3 elements: antecedent, behavior, and consequences. It's a simple yet profound formula that helps us clearly see what happens before, during, and after a child's behavior. Antecedents are the events, situations, or cues that lead to the behavior. Behavior is how the child responds to those antecedents. And consequences are what happens after the behavior, determining whether that behavior will repeat or stop. When we grasp these 3 elements, we gain a clearer perspective to support our children effectively. Antecedents, the root of all behavior. Now, let's dive deeper into each element. Starting with antecedents. Have you ever wondered, why did my child act that way? Or, what made them so upset? Antecedents hold the answer. They include everything that happens before the behavior occurs, from the environment, the child's emotions, to small details we might overlook. For toddlers, if they suddenly get cranky, I remind myself to check if they're hungry, tired, or uncomfortable. These are the 3 biggest triggers for tantrums at this age. For school-aged kids, if they push their siblings, I try to figure out if they're fighting over something or just feeling frustrated. And for teenagers, if they argue with friends, I look into whether it happens in a specific situation or around a particular person. Understanding the antecedent is the first step to avoid rushing to judgment and instead finding the right way to help our child. Behavior, what we want to change. Next, let's talk about behavior, the core part we often want to adjust. When my child shows an unwanted behavior, instead of getting upset, I've learned to ask questions. What happened? What did they do or say? How often does this happen? And how serious is it? These questions help me see the issue objectively. With toddlers, if they snatch toys or refuse to share, I focus on specific actions like how they hand a toy to someone, how they look for alternatives, or how they say, please, and thank you. For school-aged kids, when they feel frustrated with homework, I don't emphasize grades but encourage them to value their efforts. And with teenagers, behaviors like glaring or slamming doors are pretty common. While I can't force them to change their attitude instantly, I gently ask them to try again, without slamming the door or showing negativity. The key is to focus on the specific behavior we want to change, rather than criticizing them broadly. Consequences, the key to shaping behavior. And now, we come to the final piece, consequences. This is what determines whether a behavior will continue or stop. Friends, I used to think punishment was the quickest way to fix behavior. But over time, I realized that punishment isn't always effective and can even lead to unintended outcomes. Instead, there are gentler, more effective ways I'd love to share with you. First, model good behavior. Kids learn by watching, and they often mimic their parents. If my child does something I don't like, I explain, Mom doesn't like doing that, and I won't do it so you can see. Second, use if Then, statements to encourage them. Like, if you clean up your toys, we can go to the park. Third, set clear boundaries and rules so they know the consequences of their actions. Sometimes, ignoring works wonders. If my child throws a tantrum or tries to get attention by glaring, I choose not to react or indulge them, showing that this behavior won't get the result they want. When punishment is necessary, I make sure it's a way to stop the behavior immediately, not because I'm losing my temper. On the flip side, when they show good behavior, I don't hesitate to praise and encourage them, reinforcing that positive actions are noticed and appreciated. Time out and time in, the secret to effective discipline. There's one more thing I'd like to share: the use of time out and time in. Many parents use time out, which means separating the child from the situation to calm down and reflect on their actions. But here's the thing: time out only works if we've had time in first. Those positive moments of talking and connecting with our child. When they understand the issue through these conversations, time out becomes a tool for self-regulation, not just a punishment. Closing thoughts: simplifying and mastering the ABCs model. Friends, I know there's a lot of advice out there about shaping children's behavior, and it can feel overwhelming. But with the ABCs model, things can become simpler. Start by observing a few behaviors at home and ask yourself, what led to this behavior? Can I manage the antecedent better? Will the consequence I choose encourage or stop this behavior? And what would happen if I acted differently? As we analyze and apply this, the ABCs model will feel more familiar and intuitive. It's not just a way to ease family tensions, it's a key to establishing positive discipline, helping our children grow in love and understanding. I hope this story gives you a fresh perspective and the motivation to continue this meaningful parenting journey. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all happiness with your little families.